and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Well, go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Hello and welcome to this Zwift Run live stream. My name is Stephen. I'm a Zwift ambassador, a community run leader and your host today. There's a countdown clock up there showing how long to go before the start of the main event, so you've probably got time to tidy the kitchen, take the trash out and grab yourself a drink before we get going. If you've never seen Zwift before, it's an online game where athletes from all over the world train, compete against and socialise with each other live and in real time. All you need to take part is a foot pod, an internet connection, access to a treadmill and a device on which to run the Zwift app. You can use a computer, an iPad, an iPhone, a high-end Android device. Zwift even works on Apple TV. If you have a smart treadmill, you don't even need a foot pod, as your treadmill will send your speed direct to Zwift. Once you've logged in and made sure your equipment is connected, you can join others live for structured group workouts or social runs. You could do a solo workout or take part in one of the many in-game challenges. You could also pit yourself against people from all over the world in a race. There are various Zwift worlds. Some are based on existing places like London, New York, Innsbruck, Richmond, Virginia and Harrogate in the UK. But the biggest world is the fictional Watopia, where you can run in glass tunnels underwater, through the middle of a volcano, in a jungle, up to the top of a snow-capped mountain and on country trails. Watopia is where the Zwift developers let their imagination fly. Like any computer game, the more you run, the higher up the levels you climb and the more virtual goodies you require. If you're a regular treadmill runner, Zwift is going to transform your training. If you're a hater, Zwift is going to change the way you think about indoor running. Before we go any further, if you're watching on YouTube, please click that subscribe button and the bell icon so you're notified every time we go live on this channel. If you're watching on Facebook, please click the like button on the Film My Run page. Film My Run is also my other YouTube channel where I post real world runs, so if you're interested in marathons, ultra running, 10Ks or triathlons, you'll find product reviews, interviews and races over on that channel. I've been running all my life. I started running long distance races in 2011 when I ran my first half marathon, and that was followed a year later by my first marathon in Paris. I've run the Paris Marathon every year since and have now run well over 100 marathons and ultras. I started using Zwift at the beginning of 2015 when indoor cycling and smart trainers really took off. In the early days, I held the long distance record for cycling of 500 kilometres on Zwift for about 48 hours. And when running started in 2016, I was the first person to run a marathon on Zwift. So if you have any questions about Zwift, if I don't know the answer, I probably know somebody who does. Okay, so now you can go and take the trash out and get that drink. And make sure you keep an eye on that countdown and be back in time for the start proper. Go on then, don't just sit there gawping at me. Basically, this message is going to go around in a loop again and again until the start of the run, so you may as well go and do something constructive in the meantime. Good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. This is Film My Run on Zwift. My name is Stephen Cousins and we are broadcasting live on Facebook and on YouTube. While we're getting everything ready, it would be absolutely awesome if you could go and subscribe to the Film My Run YouTube channel and also the Zwift Live YouTube channel. You can also find us on Facebook at facebook.com/filmmyrun and also Twitter at filmmyrun, and the website is www.filmmyrun.com. It's very nearly time, so sit back, relax, don't forget to drop me a ride on and watch me do all the hard work. Okay, welcome along. So last night we agreed that today we would have the light show, the flashing lights, and do the disco in here. What I forgot to realise was that, of course, this run is an hour earlier and it's much lighter. Now, it is raining and it's cloudy outside, but it is still too light for the lights to really show. You can see them vaguely flashing in the background. I do have the disco lights on, but they're nowhere near bright enough to make an impression. Hello Clive, hello Amy, hello Zvon GB on Twitch. Amy's got her lights on. I've got my lights on, but you can't see them. So maybe if it gets darker as the hour goes on. So we're here for an hour doing the ZLDR recovery hour It is 20 degrees in shed quarters tonight. I'm going at 10 kilometers an hour just to make sure that we get 10k in by the end of the hour. We're all in our Zwift ZLDR yellow vests. And we've got, was it about 30 runners in the group? A nice turnout for a Friday night anyway. Decent turnout for a Friday. So we're going to do this nice and relaxed. No pressure to go quick. Evening, Jeff. Hello to anyone watching for the first time. Hello everybody watching on YouTube, Facebook and Twitch. Nice of you to join me. If you've got any questions about Zwift, if you've got any questions about running, fire them in the chat. Heart rate, blimey, my heart rate is high, isn't it? Look at that. Gosh, I have just eaten dinner, but it shouldn't be quite that high. Maybe I'm just talking too much and I need to sort of warm up a bit. 3 minutes in, and I'm really hoping my heart rate comes down from 140 odd. Should be around 110 at the moment, 116. We'll see what happens in the next couple of minutes. It is gradually coming down now. Is everyone feeling okay today? Question mark. Looks like we haven't got a run leader today. Nobody with the yellow beacon, from what I can see. You should save up for a smart treadmill, Darren. Running or walking, doesn't matter. What matters is you got off the sofa. Hello, Tina. So we've got Tina, Jeff, Amy and Clive in the chat, and Darren as well, I think. And we've got Darren running as well. He's complaining about his stride. And he looks like he's had a technical, so he's stopped at the moment. And we've got quite a few usual faces in the run. Clive and Amy are in the run as well. And Franklin, Harris, Barbe, Steele, Johan Steele. Nikki's with us as well. Hi, Nikki. Clive says he's feeling a lot better today. Good. So 1 kilometre done, look. There we go. 6 minutes. And yeah, we agreed yesterday that I would have the disco lights on today, but it's too light. I've got the disco lights on, but you can't see them. Hardly, anyway. Is anyone anything exciting at the weekend? Question mark. Why don't we have a yellow beacon today? That's my question. Clive had a 48-hour head cold, sore throat, coughing. My wife even made me do a COVID test, but it was negative. Paul Hayward's in the chat as well. Jeff Partridge is running, but he's near the back, he says. Tina didn't get off the sofa. And neither did Paul. He says we both deserve a rest. I'm not sure about that. I think we got rid of most of our COVID tests because there were so many of them clogging up the household. Who is going to win, Kent? Kent is going to the Phillies game. I think Phillies game is baseball. It might be American football. I'm not sure. I'm not going to admit my ignorance. Richard, that is going to be good fun. Kent says, of course, the Phillies are going to win. Kent, excuse my ignorance, but are we talking about American football or baseball? Question mark. Maybe the rain might win, yes. Sarah Jacobson's on. Hello, party people. She says she's not running, but she's hanging out. Don't hang out with us too much, Sarah, because Clive has had a cold and we don't want you to catch it. Same for Tina as well. Just be careful of Clive, who is lurking in the chat with the remnants of a cold. So, be careful. Right, Ken says it's baseball. So the Phillies against the Red Sox. But hang on now. Is it the Philadelphia Red Sox, Sarah? Or is it the Phillies against the Red Sox? I'm so stupid. I know nothing. I know nothing. Philadelphia. Is it the Philadelphia Red Sox? That rings a bell. Right, Tina says all the cool kids are just hanging out. So Tina, Sarah, Paul Hayward, they are apparently the cool kids who are just hanging out. Amy, me, Clive, we're the runners. Jeff Partridge, we're the runners who are actually working out. Oh, of course it's the Boston Red Sox. The Boston Red Sox. And I know that Kent in the chat was saying the Phillies are going to win, but out of those two teams, who is the best team? Which is the best team? All the sickly kids are hanging out, says Jeff. Yeah. Lucy's teaching her drama group, so it's a good time for a crafty, sneaky post-sit run. I have it on good authority that the Boston Red Sox are the better team. Kent, is this true? I've just made that up, Sarah. Because you said you had no idea. I've just pretended that I know the Boston Red Sox are the better team. Let's just see what Kent says. Let's go, Darren. Approaching 2 kilometres in. Tina Beard says, my watch told me to rest today. Do you know what though, Tina? If I rested every time my watch tells me to rest, I'd do about 10k a week. It's telling me to rest all the time. Yeah, Paul Hayden says I usually ignore my watch when it tells me to rest. Exactly. Richard says the Phillies are hot right now. Clive says it's about time I burned some energy. Tina says normally she would ignore her watch, but she is behaving today. Tina wants to... Sarah wants me to leave Tina alone. I've not done anything. Leave Tina alone. I've not said anything. I'm in trouble already, and we're only 13 minutes in. How can you watch the live stream on mute, Darren? All the entertainment is in the nonsense chat. Jeff Partridge says his watch tells him he's had a restful day, even when he hasn't. Well, maybe what you consider to be a busy day to your Garmin feels like you're having an easy day. Maybe what you think is work is actually just laziness. Oh, I've had a really busy day. I got up and walked around for 2 minutes from my desk, made a cup of tea and sat down again. Good idea, full stop. Don't forget to give ride-ons to your fellow runners. Yeah, all right. Okay. 27.5 mile mountain marathon. That might count as a bit of exercise, I suppose. I'll give you that. Right, so we're 15 minutes in, quarter of the way through. Kent is watching Wimbledon at the gym. I'm guessing Djokovic is going to win again. Voice to text has handled Djokovic very well there, hasn't it? Will you be watching the tennis on catch-up then, John? Question mark. Somebody says they don't want any tennis spoilers. Tina says, what's everyone's weather been like? In Somerset. So in Somerset, where Tina lives, it has been pouring with rain. It's also been raining here in Worthing, where I live. I got that right, didn't I, Tina? I definitely got that right. Somerset, not Wiltshire. Jeff says, did anybody watch today's stage of the Tour de France? No, I didn't. John will be watching tennis in a few hours. He's turned off the group chat now. Awful in Gloucestershire, awful in South Gloucestershire. I was correct, it is Somerset, where Tina lives. It's been raining all day in Nottingham, so it's been pretty miserable across the entire country then. It is the height of summer here in the UK, and of course it has been pouring with rain across the country. I know the tennis results from today, but I won't give it away. Paul Deering, hello Paul. He says, I've got a 10k race at 7:30 p.m. It's pouring with rain. My support crew, Debbie, is not too happy. Yeah, well, we are planning to go and do parkrun in the morning, but it's supposedly high winds and potentially thunderstorms at 9 a.m. where we are going tomorrow. We're going to Ifield, which is near Crawley, near Gatwick Airport, basically. And yeah, it's supposed to be high winds and thunderstorms. So the kids are not happy about that. We're still going. Paul Haywood says it's good for the ducks in the garden. Yep, we don't have many ducks in our garden, but yes. Amy says, where's the summer gone? Clive, of course, does have ducks in his garden. And they have loved the rain today. Yeah, Clive says you better check it's on. That is a good point, actually, Clive. I will... Yeah, I will have a look and just double check they're not cancelling it. Tina says, I'm going to tell you now, I will not be parkrunning if it's raining. Jeff says, great scenes of Mont Blanc in the distance on the tour footage today. It's getting scintillating at the front end. I will try and catch up with it this weekend, Jeff. I haven't been paying attention, to be honest. I do like cycling, but it goes down on my priority list, so I haven't checked up on it. Also, just to tell you, I did have a meeting today with Zwift HQ, and the word on the street is some and some is good and bad. So the bad news is there are no immediate plans to do any development with Zwift Running. The current focus of the hierarchy of Zwift remains getting more subscribers on the platform. So more paying customers, and paying customers are cyclists. So at the moment, Zwift Running is firmly on the back burner. No immediate plans for any development. However, the good news is that there is absolutely no intention of cutting and scrapping Zwift Running, and in fact there is a long-term plan with running and rowing to develop Zwift into a multi-sport platform more than it is now. So now, whether that development is over the next 2 years, or more realistically probably the next 5 to 10 years, that remains to be seen. But my latest information from a meeting I have today is that Zwift Running is not going anywhere. It will not be scrapped. It is not going to be dropped. But as of now, there is no current plan for any increased development of Zwift Running. And that's where we stand at the moment. So it's some and some. Finesse, I can't say your name. Finessin95 on Twitch. Hello. He says, how is Zwift Running compared to cycling? So that ties in a little bit. Zwift Running is a great product, and a lot of us enjoy it very much. But compared to cycling, it's very small. Very small. And there is a lot of potential for Zwift Running that isn't there at the moment. So a lot of things could be done with Zwift Running to make it better. But at the moment, that is not happening. And because the company wants to make money, and the way they make money is by getting more subscribers, Zwift Running does not contribute to that. Finesse95 says, I think it's partly because not everyone can run at home, me included, because I live in an apartment. Yes, absolutely. And it is currently free, Clive reminds us. Yes, and a lot of people say, well, shouldn't they make running a paid sport on Zwift? But the thing is, the numbers are just not big enough. So if you started to charge for Zwift Running, then a lot of people would drop off the platform. And in terms of Zwift's running numbers, that would not be good. So that's the reason that Zwift Running is still free. One of the long-term goals may well be that Zwift just offers one package, and that is running, rowing and cycling, all for your £12 a month. So running would no longer be free, but if you wanted to run, cycle and row, you could do that all in one package. But that's a long way off still. So running will remain free for the significant future, and don't worry about it disappearing, but just don't expect any major development in the next few years, in the next 2 years at least, I would say. Paul says, arena games triathlons on TV are great. They need to keep Zwift running, if only for this. Yes, I mean they will, and that's one thing. They did actually mention the arena games and how the feedback that they get from the arena games is that it's fantastic watching the swimmers get out of the pool and then straight onto the bikes and then onto the treadmills, and that makes it very exciting, and they like seeing that. So Zwift Running is an integral part of that. So that's all good, I think. We just need to try and attract more people to come onto the platform. And I understand when it's a beautiful sunny day, who wants to be running on the treadmill? But the other thing is, when you can't run outside for whatever reason that is, you have the option of Zwift. And if treadmill running is boring for you, then running with Zwift and with people on Zwift makes it far more entertaining. And I do a lot more mileage just because of Zwift. So if I didn't have Zwift, there are a lot of times when I probably just wouldn't run. But because I've got Zwift, it's easy to get on the treadmill and I can do 10k and bang it out in an hour, and that's 10k on my weekly mileage that I wouldn't otherwise have had. Sarah Jacobson says there should be a recruitment push in the winter, in the fall. Yeah, we should all try and do that. We should all encourage people and I think that's what we try and do with the Paris Marathon training, is get a kind of groundswell of people seeing the platform for the first time and taking part in workouts for the first time when it's cold outside here in Europe and in America, of course. Chris Nolan, hello Chris, nice to hear from you. He says, I am more a fan of a running package and a separate cycling package and a separate rowing one. Yeah, I mean, it's totally undecided. You know, that was just something that was mentioned to me this morning. Paul says, I wish my 7:30 race tonight was on a treadmill. I bet you do. I think it's stopped raining here now, but it's damp and cool outside. It's quite warm in here though, 22 degrees Celsius in shed quarters. Sarah Jacobson says, are there any triathlon groups we can tap into? Well, there is a triathlon group that I am a member of. They're called Pathetic Triathletes. That's the only major triathlon group that I've come across on Facebook. I'm sure there are others. Tina says, yes, I agree, Stephen. If I've had a busy day, I wouldn't go out for a run, but it's easy to jump on Zwift on the treadmill. Finesse95 says, I'd love to use Zwift Run running, especially since you can race against others as well. Yes, that's the other thing. I mean, as long as you accept that it's not an exact science, because, you know, you don't know how well calibrated somebody's treadmill is. But yes, we can do races, and we do races on Zwift. We should actually do more. Races are hard work though, aren't they? But we should do more races on Zwift. Jeff says, the Sun is trying to make an appearance in South Gloucestershire. I'm sure the Sun newspaper isn't trying to make an appearance. I think the Sun newspaper needs to keep its head very low to the ground at the moment and out of sight. Right, we are halfway through. 5 kilometres done, 5 kilometres to go, 30 minutes to go. Halfway through, is everybody still feeling tip-top? Oh, Maria's getting told off by Ryan. Please just hold the pace. Cut the chit-chat. Blimey. That was harsh. Ryan is annoyed with Maria, clearly. Paul says duathlons on Zwift are great. We get lots of cyclists on treadmills that wouldn't normally use one. Yep, absolutely. Amy is tired, she says. Amy, if you need to slow down and relax, just do that. Tina is very tip-top, thank you, she says from the sofa. Victoria has gone out this evening to her deep water workout. When she left the house, or as she was leaving the house, Victoria said, "Do you think I'm going to get wet?" And I said, "I would have thought so if you're going in the pool, yes." Because I am, as you know, hilarious. Sarah Jacobson doesn't want Zwift drama as well. Yeah, local club drama followed by Zwift drama. It's all falling apart. Sarah says, "Tina, you and I have a similar love for the sofa." Hey, don't you worry about it. I love the sofa as well. I spent a good couple of hours on the sofa this afternoon. Jeff, I don't think Victoria is going to be wearing a diving helmet, no. Chris Nolan says, Zwift and treadmills and running on shoes have caused me to spend so much money and have loved it all just to run in one place and sometimes run outside. Yeah, whoever said running was a cheap sport? Just put on a pair of shorts and get out there. No. Amy reckons everyone's lazy. Yes, quite right too, Amy. You're all lazy. Tina, Jeff. Oh no, Jeff's running with us. Jeff's not lazy. Sarah just sitting there. Paul Deering's sitting on the sofa because he's too nervous to get outside in the rain and go and do his race at 7:30. Right. The love match between Tina and Jeff Partridge continues. Tina says, "That's harsh, Amy, saying that we're lazy." Jeff Partridge says, "Yeah, but probably true though, Amy." Tina. Tina has been to the gym though, apparently. Not to work out, just to pay her monthly subscription, and then she went home again. Jeff Partridge misheard that. He says, "Tina, you've been drinking gin." Sarah Jacobson wants it known that she is not on the sofa. She is standing at her laptop in the kitchen. So she's cooking dinner. She is cooking lunch, cooking dinner. She is working on her laptop. And she's also watching and listening to this live stream. You know, they do say women are good at multitasking. There you have it. There you have it. Good evening, Heather. Heather has joined the fray. You've missed the trouble, Heather. You've missed it already. Tina and Jeff are arguing. Amy's roasting everyone for being lazy. Tina reckons she's been to the gym. Sarah's multitasking at the desk with her laptop and the cooking. Oh yeah, I know you don't actually cook. That is true. You don't cook. Mate, she's making a pot noodle. It's all been going on here, Heather. Darren is lonely up front. Darren says he's lonely up the front. Does anyone want to speed up and join him? Question mark. think we'll get a resounding no there. After a very rocky start in terms of heart rate has now come down, thankfully. We are comfortably in zone 2. Jeff Partridge says, it serves you right for running so fast, Darren. Yeah, I concur. Take a chill pill, Darren. Slow down, relax, get into zone 2. Let's just do some easy running. Tina says, Heather, it's madness as usual in here. Yeah, it's just standard, Tina. It's just a standard run. We're 6.2k in. We've got about 22 minutes left of the run. It's the ZLDR recovery hour. I'm going at 10 kph, so we're gonna hit 10 kilometers by the time we finish. That will bring my weekly mileage up to 75 kilometers. So I've got 25 kilometers to do this weekend. We'll do 5 at Parkrun tomorrow, maybe plus a 1 or 2 kilometer warm up. So that'll get us to 80 odd. So long run on Sunday morning. That should tip us over to 100k for the week. And then next week, I'm going to try and bump up the mileage a bit more. So this is training now for the North Downs Way 100 miler, which is in the first week of August, and then the UTMB 100 miler in Chamonix in the first week of September. Very excited. And as you all know now, hopefully you all know, Victoria was trying to keep it quiet. But Victoria is going for something called the Centurion Grand Slam. So you'll know that a couple of months ago she did her first ever 100-mile race, the Thames Path 100. And she'd already paid for and booked up to do the South Downs Way 100 and the North Downs Way 100. So she's now completed the South Downs Way 100 as well. And the film for that I am currently working on. That'll be out in the next 4 or 5 days. And then she is going to start the North Downs Way 100. I've told her that is the most difficult challenge. That if we can get through that one, she has a very good chance of completing all 4 100-mile races in the year. And if we do complete the North Downs Way 100, then we have something called the Autumn 100 in October. And that's a nice flat, easy, I say easy, a nice flat 100 miler in October. So let's see if we can get Victoria through those races, whilst also getting myself through the UTMB 100 miler in September. Amy says, go Victoria. Sarah says, that is unbelievable. Well, honestly, I am blown away by what she's been doing. You know, I could stand here and say, oh yeah, I knew she could do it. But you don't know until somebody's in there doing it, whether they've really got it in them to pull one of those races out of the bag. Victoria's now done 2, and honestly, she is a demon. She just gets her head in the game, and no matter how much she's hurting, no matter how sick she's being, no matter how hot it is, how muddy the ground is, she just keeps going. And I am totally inspired by what she's been doing. So fingers crossed she can get the next one done and then the one after that. Heather says she's amazing. Jeff Partridge is done. 4 miles done for Jeff. Well done, Jeff. Congratulations on another run this evening. Clocking up the miles. Amy says, I've upped my miles, but only because it will be the summer holidays soon. So, yeah, Amy is going on holiday to Bulgaria soon. So, she wants to get some miles in. She wants to get fit. Yes, Sarah says, I can attest to Victoria's determination. It rubbed off on me when I was struggling during the Paris Marathon, and she kept me going. Yeah. Yeah, the other thing about Victoria, though, is she can be very... it's not annoying, but do you know what I mean? She can... Like, it's, oh my God, okay, I'm coming. I wanted to lie down and have a little sleep so many times on the South Downs Way 100, and Victoria was going, no, come on, we got to get going. I don't want to miss the next cut-off, she'd say. So I couldn't lie down, I had to get up and carry on. Unbelievable. Oh no! Jeff Partridge didn't actually intend to stop running, it's just that Zwift crashed on him. Well, it's happened to me enough times, Jeff, so at least it's not happened to me. From a selfish point of view, I'm glad it's you and not me, for once. Right, 7k done, 3k to go. We have 17 minutes left of the ZLDR recovery hour. Looks like quite a few people have been dropping off, but we've got quite a nice little crowd here. Amy and Franklin and Clive, and is that Kent with us as well? And Bexlander from Canada. 3 kilometres to go here to get to 10k under the hour. Who's with me? Oh, you're going out tonight, right? Jeff's going out tonight. Friday night on the town for Jeff and his wife. Heather is suggesting, Jeff, perhaps it wasn't Zwift that crashed. Remember, Tina is all powerful. That kinetic energy from Somerset to South Gloucestershire. I mean, there's not very far between the two, to be honest with you. Just 50 miles or so, less than 50 miles between Somerset and South Gloucestershire. Probably. Well, don't they border each other? I'm guessing it's about 50 miles between Tina's house and Jeff's house. Would that be right? Who knows? Do you know? There you go, you see, Tina's taking revenge because Jeff suggested that Tina drinks too much gin. Right, past the Pride flag and the Lifesavers, what's it called? Station. Coloured in the Pride colours. And we are running along the beachfront in Watopia. There you go, I said 50 miles. Jeff says it's 55 miles apparently between Jeff's house and Tina's house. So in the grand scheme of things, that's not very much. I'm sure Tina can send her destructive powers across the airwaves to kill Jeff's Zwift game. My heart rate is 129 beats per minute. How's everyone else doing? I bet nobody else is wearing a heart rate monitor, are they? Come on, what's everyone else got? Amy says, don't ask. 126 for Clive, 113 for Mike Leacher. He's on the bike though, isn't he? 134 for Kent. Well done, Kent. Well done, everyone. Just keep it going. The more you run at a relaxed pace, the lower your resting heart rate will become. The more you run at a fast pace, the higher your VO2 max will get. Resting heart rate of 45 is very good. Or you die, says Kate. Oh my goodness. Right, Jeff Partridge's heart rate is 64 beats per minute and dropping. Sarah says, an update, I have moved from the kitchen to the hammock on my deck. Right, for British people, that means absolutely nothing. For British people, that would be like being on holiday in the Bahamas, being in your hammock on your deck. We don't have hammocks and we don't have decks in the UK. Those people that do have decks, they're just kidding themselves that they have the view of a beautiful sun-kissed beach with turquoise water just beyond them, when what they actually have is another housing estate opposite. Right, people are now giving us their resting heart rate, 38, 41, says Clive. Resting heart rate between 45 and 52, says Louis. You know, when you ask a kid, it's funny, isn't it? When you ask a question like this, which asks people to tell you, you know, it's like if Paul Deering was to ask me what my sub-3 marathon time is, you know, I can't wait to tell somebody. It's kind of like that, isn't it? You get all the people telling, oh, my resting heart rate's 38. Oh, mine's 35. Well, my resting heart rate is 25. Yeah, well, my resting heart rate was 15. Everyone, it's the same, isn't it, for everyone? But I'm just the same. I love it. What's your sub-3 marathon time? Oh, 2:55. Yeah, 2:55. Yeah, I mean, I trained really hard for it and I was really pleased with it. Yeah, our resting heart rate 39. Sarah Jacobson says, my resting heart rate is higher than all of yours. Well, actually, isn't it true that I think women do tend to have a higher resting heart rate than men, or like trained athletic women and men? It's the same with things like body fat, isn't it? So women of the same level of fitness tend to have a higher body fat than men. Heather says, my friend has a hammock. It must be just in your neighbourhood, Stephen. Tina Beard's resting heart rate is 52. Jeff Partridge says, lots of Brits have hammocks, especially sailors. Oh yeah, of course. Sailors have hammocks, don't they? Of course they do. Brilliant. Amy says, my low heart rate is the only thing I can show off. Well, good for you. Honestly, I'm not bothered. It's good to show off things like that. 8.5 kilometers in. Right. Clive Finnemore says, that reminds me, I must get my hammock in off the decking before it rains. All right. Okay. Everyone's got a hammock and decking. Sarah, honestly, right, I'm just going to say this quietly so only you can hear, right? Nobody in the UK has a hammock and decking, okay? It's just stupid. We haven't got the weather for hammocks and decking. Nobody has it. Paul Hayward says he got his hammock and decking, his hammock in from the decking earlier. Tina says, yes, Clive, my hammock's looking drowned on the decking, and the decking is soaking. Sarah only uses her hammock 3 months of the year. Well, if anyone in the UK does have a hammock and decking, they only use it one day in the year. There is one day in the year when that would be useful to have. Clive does also look over a housing estate. Heather says she only intended to tune in for 5 minutes ago, yet here I am, still sucked in once again. We're not... Heather, you're free to leave at any time. You are free to leave at any time. Any time. We do enjoy a good lob, Kent. Exactly, Clive. He says it's almost like owning a soft-top car in the UK. That I would say that is a perfect analogy. Because nobody has a soft-top car in the UK. And if you do, just have a think to yourself for a minute. You know, just have a quiet chat with yourself and go back to the car dealership. Oh, yeah. And Paul Hayward says, and a pool in the garden. Oh, yeah. That pool has not been filled with water for the past 2 weeks. So, yes. Exactly. I am the embodiment of my own point. That's not the right sentence, is it? Something like that, anyway. Right, we've got 5 minutes to go and 800 metres to do. We should get 10k done in the hour. We are coming up to the last few hundred metres now. It's been great running with you all again today. Have a great weekend, everyone. Hello, Leo. Oh, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Tina has a convertible. She says it rarely leaves the garage. Unbelievable. I might have known. I should have known. And do you know what? I bet you really do have a hammock and decking as well, don't you? I bet you do. But I bet you overlook a beautiful forest or something. It's been a nice, enjoyable run this evening. I've enjoyed it a lot. Good chat. There you go. So Tina does have a nice tree-filled view. But instead of having a hammock and decking, she has a patio and a swing seat. And a patio and a swing seat is much more British. Hammock and decking, no. Swing seat and patio, yes. Amy says, well done, everyone. Yeah, last couple of minutes now. So there won't be any live streaming this weekend. I will be off and away to park run in the morning and then a long run on Sunday. And that'll get my 100k in for the week. And then we'll be back on Monday with the Monday community run. Another 10k on Monday. Same as this, with the ZLDR, with the ZLDR group. Well done, runners, says Heather. Says, thanks for the very entertaining stream as always. Listen, it's not me. As I'm sure you will agree, it's not me that makes it entertaining. It's you guys in the chat. If I didn't have you guys there, then this would just be some middle-aged bloke running on a treadmill. So thank you for tuning in, everyone. I appreciate it, really enjoy it. And it makes the time go quicker for me as well. And I guess for other people running, for Clive and for Amy who've made it to the end here. And anyone else who's watching the live stream but also running. I don't know if Darren still is watching the live stream as he runs. So, yeah, it makes the time go quicker. It's all good fun. Sarah says, enjoy the weekend, everyone. Clive says, we have a beer garden bench and a table complete with beer branded brolly. All this on the decking, of course. I'm coming to your house, Clive. Mind you, no, you're moving, aren't you? Great running, everyone. We'll stop. See you for the community run on Monday. Darren's going to continue a little bit longer. Go for it, Darren. Knock yourself out. Not literally, of course. Heather reckons Clive should have a Zwift branded brolly. If only they made one. Craig says, well done all, enjoy the weekend. Thank you, Craig. And there we are, look. Hour done. 10k done. And that is us finished for another week. So, yeah, appreciate the chat, everybody. Clive, Heather, Craig, Tina, Leo, Amy, Sarah Jacobson, Jeff Partridge, Paul Haywood, whoever else is further down on the list that I can't see. Thank you very much for commenting and chatting along today. Well done, everyone who took part in the recovery hour today. And we will see. I mistyped Darren's name and I said Daryl, and now somebody else has typed Go Daryl. Oh well. So yeah, we're going to be back on Monday for the community run. Paul Haywood says a Zwift branded brolly would definitely cap Clive's garden lovely. Leo's done. Thanks, Leo. Right, I'm out of here. I'm going to go and have a shower. Take care, everyone, and we'll see you on Monday. Have a great weekend, whatever you're going to do. Bye-bye.